I am stuck in traffic on I-95. I've kind of looked ahead on the map and it's for a small stretch of road, but it's enough to where it's bumper to bumper. It's at least for the next half to 1.25 miles. Now, as you can tell already, I'm at a dead standstill. That said, I figured, well, I have an opportunity to come up with some content for another Gig Geezer segment. And on this particular Gig Geezer segment, I'm going to talk about the market again and pointing out how, at least it's been my observation and the observation of a couple other drivers whom I'm in contact with, a lot of drivers, at least in my market, and it probably is in your market and in other markets, where drivers are taking orders that absolutely make no sense, or at the very least, make you kind of scratch your head. Here's the examples. Now, what I'm going to do is give you the numbers. I'm not going to make reference to the apps, because the apps themselves, they have people, or they have small teams of people within their operations that monitor the social media. And one of the things they're trying to do is figure out, well, what the other guy is paying. And so if they find out that one guy is paying way less than what they're paying, guess what? They're going to try to drop the prices to where they're somewhat on par with the other apps. And the problem is that they're going to retain more money for themselves. So here are the examples. On one app, an order came out for $39.26, if memory serves me correct. It required one person. It required that one person to pick up 60 items and deliver about 2,340 pounds. Now, there are people who will do it. Yours truly is not one of them. And I think I have a very, very established history of talking about that. But what happened was, after a while, the order disappeared and appeared on another app. And on that app, it was broken up into a duo, or for two people. And the app paid each driver $43.60 or 80 cents for the same work. Now, here's what I want to point out. On the first app, when it offered $39.26, you know good and well that the app is making money. Probably way more. I would venture to say at least double what it was paying the driver at a minimum. And if you make the argument based on what the other app was paying two drivers, less than $100 for two drivers to do the same work, it is very much possible that app made at least that much and more. What it paid the drivers total is what it made and more. So you have to treat things as a business, something that I've spoken of. And you can't just jump at everything and then grab it and then try to pimp your walk and grab your Johnson and justify it by saying, well, something is better than nothing. Well, you're right. Something is better than nothing, but you take trash orders, you make trash pay. And I'm being nice. Now I could go at it this way. You take shit orders, you're making shit pay. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Now, what I'm sharing in this segment of the Gig Geezer, and by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. What I'm sharing in this segment of the Gig Geezer, again, is this is not first time admonitions that I've made. I've shared multiple times about how I've pointed out how thirsties mess up the market. I've talked about thirsties in general. And I realized that given how difficult the market has been in my market and perhaps in your market and other people's markets, you're gonna make decisions that sometimes you would not normally make. But the things that I'm talking about, I have seen in some form or fashion since 2017. And it doesn't matter if it's a gig app, a rideshare app, a gig food delivery app, or a last mile gig delivery app, or with the most recent thing that I've added, which is the brokered opportunities. We say that what's happening is that there's an influx of people on the apps that are taking orders that most people won't, but they're gladly taking them. But then, what speaks for people back in 2017 when there weren't as many of those people on the apps? What speaks for back then? The decisions that people make. We talk about what we find are that we have content creators who talk about that they're in business. They're now in the cargo van business. They're in the sprinter van business. And I got my own business. Okay? And how you run your business is your prerogative. In fact, we're now moving again. Just want you to see that we're now moving again. The issue was that there was a fender bender and both cars had moved to the side of the road, but there was a steady stream of rubberneckers. If you've been in any metropolitan situation, you know there's always rubberneckers. People always got to see who's involved and what damage had occurred to one's vehicles. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time about it, but I just wanted to point out 2 examples of where people are taking orders and are likely to have taken orders and have completed them, either on either app situation. But here's the catch. Here's the catch. I mentioned it in this segment of the Gig Geezer. If somehow you exercise some discipline, and if you happen to have a suite of apps that may allow you to do this, what you gotta understand is that these orders will bounce around other apps. Now it may not be with gig food delivery apps, but the examples that I've given were for last mile gig delivery apps and also for certain catering orders. Now, here's the other thing. Now I know that for me, the past year with the Gig Geezer channel, it's been somewhat frustrating because my channel has been pretty much it's not been pushed by YouTube's algorithm as it was at one point, say about a year and a half ago. My channel has been very stagnant, and if somebody were to assume that, hey, I'm on here for the money, and you are grossly inaccurate with your assumption and assertion. I'll give you an example. My goal with the Gig Geezer channel was hopefully to earn enough monetization money each month to pay for my van note and insurance. I've paid for my van note one time, and I've shared that my van note is just under $600 each month. So that's happened one time since I've been monetized since February 2023. So that should tell you that I'm not making what you think I'm making. In fact, let me put it like this. I'll tell you how little I make off of this channel. And this is because of YouTube not pushing my channel. The algorithm apparently feels as if I don't put out content that you and others are really interested in checking out. I have dental insurance and vision insurance. That combined is $175 a month. I did not even cover my dental and vision insurance with what I earned off of my channel last month. So, let me throw one other thing out there, since I said I'm not going to be talking much. In this segment of the Gig Geezer, folk noticed that, what's up? You're not using your van anymore? And yet again, I'm in another Gig Geezer video in which I'm in my F-150. I have my van. I still have my van. In fact, I paid my payment on the van within the last 2 weeks, and I am current on my van. I still have commercial insurance. I am current on my commercial insurance as well. I just simply have not been in any situation in the last few weeks in which it's been worth my while on a consistent basis to go out there and drive my van. Now, I have shared on a few occasions. Yes, from an insurance standpoint, I'm more comfortable driving the van, but the way the market has changed so dramatically in the last 2 months, at least for me, I have used the F-150 in more situations than I have prior to July and especially last month, 2024. So This is just a quick segment of the Gig Geezer. I guess you could say I'm guilty of trying to put some content out there, but not for clickbait purposes, but with a message behind the purpose. So, again, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm in Wood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.